Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. It's J-Bo here with another cool review. Please stay tuned and check the shooting portion of the video at the end of this presentation. And what do we have? We have the GSG, which is the German Sport Guns Firefly. This pistol was $203 with free shipping. It is a very cool pistol, and had a couple things. We'll review it, and I'll discuss some important things that you will need to know if you're thinking about getting one. One of which is more than likely it's not going to run great for you out of the box. And that's unfortunate, but it's pretty easy to fix. And the problem with it is the feed ramp. And you will see a lot of people on the internet, and especially in forums, who own these, who said they only shoot mini mags in it, and that's it. And even then, sometimes it has issues. And there is a fix for that. And that is by polishing the feed ramp, which was really easy to do. I won't spend too much time talking about it or showing how to do it, since YouTube does not appreciate customizing firearms. They will censor the videos. But I can tell you what I did. So anyway, we'll review the basics. Now you'll see that there is 3 magazines here. And this one has dummy rounds. There's one chambered. And there's a reason for that. You should not dry fire a .22 semi-automatic pistol. You could break the firing pin or damage the chamber on the very edge where the rim sits, and then you will have light hammer strikes and misfires because it will cut into the chamber. So originally this comes with 1 magazine, and you do have some really cool things that come with it that are important to discuss, as we have an empty .22 short shell in here, which this doesn't shoot .22 shorts, so that's must have flew in there from the Henry rifle earlier today. So in the manual, which you have here, you will see information, and this used to be a Sig Sauer, manufactured by Sig Sauer. It was called the Mosquito, and GSG has the rights to it now, and it's called the Firefly. They also make the GSG 1911, which is a really cool pistol also. We have 3 of those. So what you get with this one is you get extra front sights. Hopefully you can see that. It's stuck on the end of the spring here. Let go. There we go. So they kind of like squeeze together and snap in underneath the frame in here. And what's really cool about that is this is the tallest one on here, and this one's working for this pistol just fine. But if you were going to change to a certain kind of ammo, point of impact might change, and you might want to have one of these other ones, especially if you bought like 2,000 rounds of something and you're going to be shooting it for a while. Haven't changed those yet, so I don't know how difficult that would be or not. And you get an extra recoil spring, but it's different than the spring that's in it. And there's a reason for that. There's 1 spring for the regular standard ammo, which would be the lower powered standard ammunition that you would have. And also you have another spring for the more powerful high velocity ammo. So there's different tensions on the springs, and it's pretty important to know the difference. So a lot of times, maybe somebody will put in the wrong spring and they don't understand that. And then they're having a whole bunch of jam-ups and problems and stovepiping and all kinds of things, no matter what they shoot. And some stuff will work and some won't. Well, it all explained in the manual why you have different ones for that. And the other cool thing about this pistol, for me, is the feel of it. The feel of it is fantastic. This is a zinc metal alloy. And because of that, it's not like the GSG 1911 where the slide is aluminum. This is a metal zinc alloy, and it feels heavier and it feels more like a pistol. It feels very comfortable in the hand. So some of the basic features before we take a peep in the manual is you have this rail right here. It's a Piccadilly type thing. I call it a Piccadilly. Piccadilly, Piccatani, Piccatina, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, you could put your optic on here, laser light maybe, or flashlight, some kind of illumination device. And you could use this for a carry for personal protection. You really could, because you get some good defensive 22s. They will do the job in most instances of getting somebody's attention that's attacking you. Don't know if it'll drop them right away, but if you pump somebody with 10 rounds, which is what these magazines hold, there's a loaded magazine right here, and some defensive ammo or hollow points, it will cause some damage, especially with good shot placement. Better than having nothing, as Paul Harrell would say, and God bless him. I hope he's doing okay. And in the good spirit of things, I mean. And so some of the features we have, this is the takedown lever. We'll take that down shortly. And this is a decocker. And this is the slide lock release. And we have the safety. And what was unusual with this for me, shooting it a couple of times, is I keep mistaking this decocker for the slide lock release, because it's right where, if you have a 1911, it's right where you would have that. And you will see the decocker right now. That. So when you have this locked back and you're doing this, it's not going to do anything. And I kept finding myself doing that. So it's this one. So it's just a little bit getting used to that. So it decocks it. And you have the magazine eject button, which is nice. We'll put an empty magazine in here. Magazines go in and out nice and easy, just like that. And locks it open. So what we did was, I will show you when I take this apart and break it down, is we did polish the feed ramp. So I think what I should do is I should do that right now. And you can either push up or come down. I like to come down like that. Just swing it down. And you slide this off like this. Slide it back and then lift up. And you will see how that clears. And comes right off. Just like that. Now you have this spring and pin in here, which the recoil is bent. I think my brother had a struggle with it earlier because he's not used to it. And it fought with him. Pretty easy to put back on, and I'm not going to go through all of that at the moment. But you have your basic slide, and nothing special here. It's a little bit of a different design for this style of pistol. And we have the spring in here for the firing pin safety, which it has, so you can't hit the hammer and fire it. Now with this is you have the barrel fixed and attached to the frame, so it's all one piece. And with regard to this being attached to that, and it's very accurate. I don't know how much that attributes to that. Supposedly it's supposed to aid in that because that barrel is not floating around. It's solid and it's part of this unit. So very good shooter. It was very awesome. And this feed ramp here, you had just the very top edge, and I will use the recoil rod, spring rod, right at the very top of the feed ramp, if you can see that. I hope you can. This is had a sharp edge, and it was catching the round as the round was going in. And what was happening is, if you look at this, you'll see this come like this. Oops, came flying off. So basically what would happen is, here, maybe you could see this. You'll see the nose of it. I got to control this easy here so it doesn't spring out. Now when this comes in like this, it hits the edge of the ramp. You see that? And then goes up in chamber like that. And it was catching on that, causing problems. And what would happen is you would fire, and everything was like kind of slowed down, and you were getting a failure to pick up a round on the way back. Was one of the problems. The other problem is the round would jam right in there, and it would lock the slide partially open with the chamber. So obviously that's not good. And when the slide doesn't kick all the way back far enough with weaker ammo, a lot of times what will happen, or something resisting, causing the slide to slow down, it doesn't come back far enough to reciprocate all the way and pick up a round on the way in. And then when you have a round catching the edge of that, you have two problems. So that's why it's important to use the right spring, and it's important to polish that ramp. Now, I used a 800 grit piece of sandpaper, fold it over in a V, and I just kind of worked it real gently. Now, you don't want to go crazy with it. You just want to take that little edge off. You don't want to do the whole face of this feed ramp. Just that edge that's in there. That's it. You know, you got to be real subtle. And then after the 800 grit, I went up to 1,000 grit. And then I went up to a 2,000 grit. And then I used a jeweler's polishing cloth, which I use to polish brass frets on a guitar to a mirror shine. It gets shiny just like jewelry. And that's what I did that with. And as you will see in the shooting video, it functions fine. We ran Remington golden bullets through it, and it was fine. There was one misfire that I had, failure to pick up a round because there was a weak round. And it was from the bucket of bullets, and anybody that's bought bucket of bullets or bulk ammo, sometimes you'll have an underpowered round. Noticeably, you can feel it when shooting. And it's a semi-automatic pistol, and if it can't kick that slide back hard enough to reciprocate on the way back to pick up a round, then you're going to have an empty chamber, and you're going to be pulling a trigger on an empty chamber, which is what you will actually see through one of the 3 magazines that I shoot in the shooting video. So I just wanted to briefly explain that so you know what happens when you see that. So anyway, that being said, it comes apart easy to clean it, as you can see. And, you know, you get some cool features in here. It gives you all the specs. And This is chambered for 22 long rifle HV, high velocity. So that is, they recommend having high velocity ammo. Haven't really run anything low velocity yet, but I don't know how it would run that. So anyway, there is an integral safety lock, and the pistol must be decocked to engage or disengage the integral safety lock. And the integral safety lock is key operated. The locking feature prevents the firing of the gun. So that is the little locking tool that you see in this package here. It goes up right inside this hole, and you can turn it, and it will render the mainspring in here from operating the hammer, and it won't fire. So this is a good idea if you have children and you want to make sure your children are safe and not get their hands on it while you're at work or something like that. This will aid in that. So that's a pretty important, cool feature, I think. And I support that. And I don't see why anybody wouldn't. So it explains here which way to turn it, where it's in the locked position and unlocked. So you can see the, kind of looks like a straight head screwdriver kind of look, going in the same direction across this way. You're obviously not going to be able to see this, so that's why I'm explaining it. And if it was turned, the line would be going this way. So you can physically tell by looking at it when it's locked and unlocked. Haven't tried that feature out yet. I really don't have a reason to here. There aren't any kids here. There's not going to be any kids here. So, but anyway, that's, you know, a nice feature. And when you put this back together, you will look at the spring, and this is kind of important. As you'll see, one end is tapered, kind of like tapered, and this side is wider and open. The tapered end goes onto the rod here. So that will sit right in here like that. And this fat end will go in here. So this goes together pretty easy. You will see that little hole down there. Hopefully you can see that. I'm hoping you see that. I don't have a way to monitor this while I'm doing it, but you see how that's sitting there like that? So you just put that in there like that. And then when you come back in, you got to get that in there like that. And then you just pull this back this way. Move that over like that until it slides over. Whoops. And it'll just track itself back on there like that. So just to show you again, you lift it up to take it off. You put it like this to put it back. The hammer does have to be back. And slide will lock open like that because you need to close this. There we go. So then you slide that back around like this. Then now you can do a function check. So I just wanted to show you that. So if you forget to put this back, that will lock open. We'll do that again to show you. So that's how you take it off. Then when you put it back, it'll lock open like that, and you're like, well, what do I do now? So what you do is you just take it off again, and it'll go on. So you don't have to fight with it, figuring out what the hell's wrong and break something. And then when you put this back, you're good to go. Do a function check, which I am going to do with these dummy bullets, because I wanted to show you that anyway. So you have the safety, which you put on right here. It's got a thumb safety. It's ambidextrous. And so we'll put the magazine in like this. Chamber around like that. And like I said, now, if you want to carry this, you probably don't want to have it cocked. And that's why it is double action, single action, because it's reminiscent of the Beretta pistols that are double action, single action, where you can decock it like this. And now you are ready to pull it and start shooting. You don't have to rack it. You get a round chambered. You can just start pulling the trigger with double action. So if you want to have the safety off, it's not going to fire now because it's decocked, but you can just pull the trigger like this and just start shooting. And it's not an overly stiff trigger. When this was new out of the box, the trigger felt really strange. It really did. It felt spongy. It felt terrible. It really didn't feel good. Now it's broken in. And it only took a couple hundred rounds, maybe. And what's really cool about it is now, when you have it cocked, the hammer goes back further, and you have a pretty short, there's a little bit of a take-up, but it's not terrible. And the reset, it feels worse when it goes double action, but when you're shooting and it reciprocates, it's real easy to keep pulling the trigger. You don't have that far to pull it, and it doesn't take much effort. It's about the same as that. So you will see in the video that the groupings are good with this. It was very easy to shoot accurately, and you could rapid fire with these. And I really honestly believe that you will enjoy this pistol. And I think I've covered all the features. I think if you have anything that I forgot or want to know, ask me a question in the comments, and I'll try my best to answer it. There's plenty of videos online for this, but you know, this is one of those things why I do this is there's a lot of videos online, but there's also a lot of videos that don't really cover all these details. They just briefly talk about everything. They'll say, oh, it has this safety tool in here, but they don't tell you how it works. They don't tell you which way. They don't tell you which it will tell you if it's safe or not safe. So hopefully I've explained everything well. And it functions very well. Slide locks open. And I almost went to hit the decocker to release the slide again. So that's definitely something you'll probably have to get used to. If you shoot a lot of 1911s or even polymer style guns, the slide lock release is right there, but they have a decocker here. So that's something that's a learning curve you'll have to get used to. The sights were fantastic. This shot great out of the box. Didn't need any adjustments. Well, actually, it needed a slight one, but you have a flathead screw here, right here. I don't know if you can see that. That adjusts the windage. And pretty straightforward. Was easy to do. It shoots right on the money. So I guess that'll conclude this review. I really hope you enjoyed it. It does come with only one magazine, though. These two magazines were acquired separately. Actually, these two magazines were acquired before we got the pistol. And that's because we had the GSG 1911, and there was an advertisement. They had a good price on these. And there was something with the ad that was, I don't even remember, but it was listed something like it either had a photograph of the GSG 1911 magazine, or the listing said GSG 1911, but it was a Firefly magazine pictured, and that's actually what came. I don't remember what the deal was, but you know, buying magazines is never a bad thing, because you never know when you're going to own a pistol you can use it for when you see a good price on magazines. So this is a good case in point. And so anyway, I hope I've explained the optional recoil spring. Nice of them to include two different ones, and haven't experimented with it enough to make any comment on the differences. So far, the high velocity stuff with the one that came in the pistol has been fine. And I guess that's about all, really. There's nothing much more to talk about with this. Enjoy the shooting video. And like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And I thank you very much for watching. I really do. It's much appreciated. And it comes with a nice case, one magazine. And you can't go wrong with this. You will like it, but like I said, you're going to have to take care of the feed ramp. I'm fairly certain of that. I don't know why they would make it that way and release it like that, but they have. And that's what you're stuck with. So if you don't feel comfortable about doing things like that, don't get this. Just don't do it. Or if you want to bring it to a gunsmith and have him do it, that's fine, but that's up to you. We have it running great, and you will see in the video. So thank you very much for watching. And click like and subscribe, blah, blah, blah. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Stay safe and enjoy life, man. It's way too short. Bye-bye. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the brief shooting portion for the Firefly, made by GSG, German Sport Guns. Really cool pistol. It did not run very much properly out of the box. Had to polish the feed ramp. But you could see the witness marks from where it was firing and where the rounds were hitting on the feed ramp. So you start out with a little bit of a rough sandpaper, not too rough, and you finish up with a 2000 to a 4000 grit. Then I would use a jewelry polishing cloth to polish it up. All right, so we got these 10 round magazines. You can buy a kit to extend the magazine to add more rounds. And you have an option of changing the follower that's in it. There's a couple different ones you can get. If you do that, you can use the same spring. And we are going to fire some Remington Golden bullets to test this out with. So it's a fine looking pistol. It fits really good in the hand. As you can see, it's a little chilly today. So there's a slide release. This here is a decocker. See that? And you could fire with double action, which is what I'm going to do to start off with. Now I'm going to have to take my gloves off. Make sure the safety's on. And the reason why I'm taking my glove off is the way this trigger is made with that hook on the bottom. My glove keeps getting hooked underneath it, interfering with firing it. So I'm going to take it off for the video. So right now, again, you can decock it like that, with that lever. This is the takedown lever. And this is the slide lock release. And we have your safety, which is on. So now I'm going to take the safety off. And as you can see, the Remington Golden bullets, after polishing the feed ramp, I don't know if you can see that in there, right on the very top of the feed ramp is where I polished. Don't polish the whole ramp. Just that little sharp edge before it goes into the chamber. Just want to take a little bit off. And now this functions flawlessly. It is Remington Golden bullets. Every once in a while you might get a weak round that'll cause a stovepipe, but that's the nature of 22s, as you know. So we'll put another magazine in. Slide lock, decocker. As you can tell, I'm not used to the pistol yet. I'm not used to having a decocker right there. You always have the slide lock there, so it's like a habit. You always, you know, click, click. Oh, it's not the thing. So we'll do the double action again. So you could carry this if you wanted to. It's got a double action. It's got a slide hammer safety. So if you hit the hammer, it won't fire. Plus you also have a safety. I would carry this holstered, decocked, with the safety off. That's what I would do, but you might be different. Everybody's different. So let's go ahead and do a few more rounds, a little higher on the target. And as you can see by the groupings, it's all very good. I'm only about 10, 15 yards, maybe 15. And we will do one more magazine. And this comes with one magazine. And the reason why we have two extra ones is because we had the GSG 1911s and we ordered the wrong two magazines for it. The listing was GSG, but it was for the Firefly, and they had the wrong picture on the ad, even though the ad said Firefly and it was a good price. So we ended up getting two magazines before we had the firearm. So I was like, well, it'll be an excuse to get a firearm. So again, I'll put the safety on, the magazine in, slide release. I'll decock it. So people that like the double action for the first shot and then single action will like this, kind of like the Beretta. Or you could just leave it cocked and just have single action only. Safety's on. So we know that works with the safety on. I won't edit that out. I was being goofy. So anyway, here we go. And we have a mishap. So, you know, that's what it does with a weak round. It doesn't pick up a round. You see that? So we were on an empty chamber. So you do have to use good consistent ammo. This is bulk ammo, Remington Golden bullets from the Bucket O bullets. So when they fire, they do fire. And this is a very good pistol. And what I like about it is this has a cast zinc metal slide. It's not aluminum like the GSG 1911. So it actually feels a lot heavier, feels more solid. And as you can see, it does a good job. And the groupings are very good with that. So there it is. That is the GSG Firefly in kind of an OD green. It's a recommended pistol. It fires great once you work the feed ramp issue. If you're familiar with the GSG 1911, it's a little bit lighter because of the aluminum slide, but this is a metal slide. And it's a nice kind of like compact feel. It fills the hand. I have big hands, and that feels very comfortable. I think you will really enjoy this pistol, especially for the price point. And it is reliable. It functions fine now that we polished the feed ramp. So don't be afraid to purchase it. You'll see a lot of reviews online where it doesn't run right, and that is true from what we've found out. But it's easily fixable. And the front sights are replaceable. You get extra ones that come with it. This is the tallest one, and it seems to be perfect for this. But from a self-defense range, that's a good front sight. Now, if you're going to shoot from 50 yards, you'll probably want a sight that's a little bit lower in the front. So it's because you'll end up shooting underneath your target, what you're aiming at. Your point of aim will be here, and you'll be hitting down here the further away from the target you get. So just adjust it to whatever works for you, and enjoy this pistol if you get one. As always, click like and subscribe. Share the links. I'm not monetized. I do this for fun. I'm still thinking about monetizing. I got to go through their process, but then you have to have a certain amount of views and clicks every month to qualify. And I don't know if I'm doing that or not, but maybe I should look into it. But in any case, thank you for watching from beautiful Maine, the wintertime outdoor shooting in an undisclosed location. Have a beautiful week, a beautiful day. Stay safe, everybody, and enjoy your firearms and your Second Amendment rights, and always fight for those. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.